How do you feel about the idea of being awakened in the middle of the night for oral sex? I was banging some guy in Costa Rica and I woke him up with oral once. He seemed pretty happy with it. Recently, I was having dinner with some of my girlfriends and for some reason, we were talking about the same topic, so I told my story. One of the women told me what I did was sexual assault and I was lucky I wasn't arrested. I hadn't considered that possibility honestly, so it's probably a story I won't be sharing publicly in the future. On Reddit, my ex did stuff like that just because she enjoyed it. My wife is not very adventurous. My ex is an ex because she's physically violent and cheated on me. My wife is my wife because she's reliable, faithful, wonderfully hilarious, gorgeous, smart. But damn it, suck my dick now and again and we won't have to replace the vacuum so often, Bizzle. Trust me and thank me later. Pretty good. It's happened to me several times, initiated by my girlfriend. Wasn't too keen on the fact that each time she did it I needed to get up at 4 AM, but I did my duty and I enjoyed it. I can understand others not liking that, especially in that situation. But I have incredible skill at being able to work and apparently have sex with extremely little sleep. I had it once when I was on vacation and it was lovely, honestly. I usually wake up with morning wood and this was perfect. Until last week this was a complete no-go to return the favor, but for some reason my wife took my hand in the middle of the night and put it on her lady bits. I then finally got to return the favor. My wife has always said to me that she'd be pleased if I ever wake her up for any form of sex. Me, on the other hand? It sounds delightful, but I am a heavy sleeper who also doesn't sleep all that well. Unless it's time to actually wake up, but also there are no obligations during the day, like work. I'm all for it. My wife used to do this when I worked super early and she wasn't working and would go to bed late. She would wake me up with one and it was awesome. Sometimes she would wake me up too early though and I'd be dead tired when it came time to wake up for work. Still awesome though and a pleasant surprise to wake up to. My wife and I were on a cruise and randomly we both woke up at 3 AM and stood out on the balcony for a few minutes. Then we went back to bed and as I was falling asleep I felt my wife going for it and we ended up having some of the best sex ever. Not exactly what you were talking about, but it's close and I loved it. My ex used to like waking me up with sex or BJ. I always thought it was awesome. One night I woke up and I was already hard and inside her. Halfway through the fucking she said, "I'm glad you woke me up like this." Wait, what? You woke me up? Turns out we just started going at it in our sleep. Living alone and single, I'd most likely panic. But in a loving and caring relationship? I don't know actually, I might like it and enjoy it. I might get really uncomfortable. I might feel violated. I don't know, it's really hard to say. It's never happened. Depends. If someone has the audacity to wake me up just because they got horny and just couldn't wait until I woke up to give me head, they can go fuck themselves. If someone however wakes me up with by putting their foot long in my mouth, you best bet I'm sucking it dry. Like getting it? I feel very yes about it. Super duper okay with that, lol. Even 69ing. Hell yes, I'm definitely okay with that. Hell, I'm even good with getting woken up in the middle of the night to give a blowjob as long as I get fucked or eaten out afterwards. I love the idea of waking a guy up by going down on him, but the reverse freaks me out a bit. I'm a bad sleeper. I'd probably end up kicking him in the face by accident while groggy. I would much rather be woken up by being cuddled. Of what kind of oral sex is this? If some woman wants to suck some of mine part, so be it. If it didn't want me to suck his things, nah bro, forget it. How did it get inside anyway? The fuck? I love my wife, but if she wakes me in the middle of the night for anything other than an emergency, there will be blood. Metaphorically, obviously. But seriously. I get up at 3:30 AM to go to work. If you and your partner have discussed it before and consent was explicitly given, then there's no problem. Otherwise, that is sexual assault. I personally would not want to be woken up for that. Depends on the woman. I'm always super sensitive and grumpy in the morning, so you might get kneed in the face, but ask the girls you're sleeping with. The key to great C is communication. I'm a woman and I don't like receiving oral by general sex. Once in a while, sure. It's usually shortly after I start falling asleep, an hour before waking up, not like 2 AM randomly either. Depends which sleep you are in. If you are in REM sleep, it does not feel good, and also it is not good to be awakened while in this stage. It is probably fine if it is another stage. As hot as this may be, I have to piss so bad in the mornings, and it certainly would blow the mood if I said, "Hold up, gotta piss." I wonder if the same would apply to the other. I used to love the idea, but there's been some trauma associated with that I'm very much trying to cope with at the moment, so that's probably off the table. Consent matters. The general rule of thumb is if your partner is okay with it, it's all good. Prior consent is key. I've been a giver and recipient and it's great as long as it's talked about. If my wife wants to wake me up like that at any time, I am good with it. My wife, however, does not want to be woken up by oral or sex, or daylight or alarms or really anything. She will either wake up or not. Not her choice. When I want to taste some juice, I go get it. It has only happened to me a couple times. My mind wasn't the only thing blown. It kinda depends how I felt going to sleep emo. If my GF woke me up at 2 AM sucking it after a makeout session would be a lot different than the same after my grandpa dies. I wear a CPAP so I sound like Darth Vader having an asthma attack, while looking like Bane or someone with a face hugger. If that gets you going at 3 AM, guess I am game. I like my sleep so I probably wouldn't be too thrilled, but if she's only doing it cause she's in the mood then tired or not, I'll try to perform my husbandly duties. Lol. My wife and I have an agreement. Anytime she is horny, no matter how tired I might be or how early I need to get up, she can wake me up with a blowjob. Any time. Do you know how long it's gonna take for me to get into the right headspace and hydrate my mouth? Probably around 5 minutes, but I'd rather spend that time sleeping. Honestly, I'd likely be pissed off if asked to give. And I'd still be pissed off if I was woken up to receive it. I'm sleeping. I want to sleep. Let me sleep. It's not the worst way to wake up. Personally, I have trouble falling back asleep, so I prefer being woken up with a blowjob when it's time to get up. In theory, very much for this idea with an established partner. In practice, I'd be afraid I'd involuntarily kick them or something as I woke up. I'm pretty sure I'd either slap the fuck out of whoever it was out of surprise, or the far more likely outcome of just taking a piss in their mouth. Usually my sleeps are so deep that probably I wouldn't even wake up. My wife would even finish the job and probably I would still be sleeping. No. I feel gross in the morning, and even though the idea sounds sexy when other people talk about it, I'm grumpy pants right after I wake up. If you had my consent when I was awake, I'm gonna be honest, why do you feel like you need to wake me? Help yourself, let me sleep. Man shrugging, smiley face. Very annoyed if it's me being asked to do it. Possibly pleased if I would be receiving, after a prior consensual discussion, of course. I'm fine with it. My husband has woken me up multiple times. Tell at note for sex. And frequently I wake him up with a BJ in the morning. It's highly dependent on the scenario here. If it's a girl I like, I'm down. Wake me up at 4 AM if you want. I'm never gonna stop you. Depends who wakens me. If it's my non-existent, just pretend with me wife, then no. If it's Joe the crackpot down the alley, then yes. Had that happen in my teens and it was great. Hasn't happened since then, but if my partner wants to do it, I won't turn it down. Someone tried it on me once, I got very angry. Do not wake me up for anything less than a life in danger or I will lose my shit. On the weekend, sure. Giving it, receiving. As long as I have time to fall back asleep after a bit and or time to nap the next day. 10 years ago I would have asked who is giving and who is receiving, but today? If you wake me up, the house had better be on fire. If my partner wakes me up by giving, I'm happy to reciprocate. I cherish every intimate moment we share, the more the better. I don't mind, serves me right for sleeping with my mouth open, I guess. Edit: if you upvoted this comment, you're a dumbass. If I have a brutal day before me I would fake it because sometimes it's enough already and I just wanna get some sleep. Rolling eyes face. An ex-partner of mine would do this. Really frequently, honestly. It was never not wonderful. Too bad she was a psychopath. After kid, anyone who wakes me up who isn't an upset small person or because of a real emergency is going to have regrets. Wow, surprisingly you're all mostly against it. I'm all for it. I wish my boyfriend's tongue could be my alarm clock. Don't wake me up for anything short of an emergency. I would not react well at all. I need my uninterrupted sleep. I mean, I have kids. Been awakened to wipe shit more times than I can count. Any other alternative seems way better. How do you feel about never fucking waking me up in the middle of the night for anything? I want my sleep, folks. Not too great. I love my sleep, so not even if I don't need to be up early. If it's on a work night I'd be upset. Sounds like a nightmare. First, it's difficult for me to fall asleep. Secondly, I would not be able to consent. No thanks. Not unless we pre-arrange it. You'd get the shittiest, grumpiest blowjob and you ain't touching me. Nope. I am sleeping. I'm not horny. I don't want to be horny. I want to continue sleeping. So let me sleep. Good for confidence. Nice to know someone needs my mouth so badly they wake me up to get to work down there. Was fun in college. But if I'm a working adult in my 50s and it's a Wednesday, don't expect the same welcome. My wife hasn't gone down on me in about 18 years. I don't care when she wants to do it, I'm going with it. Would love it if my wife woke me up like that. However, if I tried that on her, she would not be happy, lol. That'd be an absolute dream. And as long as it's by a woman, I don't particularly care if it's a stranger. Yeah, I think I was dreaming. My partner is not into it. At least they let me do it, I enjoy it a lot. If I'm in bed and it's my wife, love it. If I fell asleep on the couch and it's a dog, not so much. Sounds great to me, man shrugging, either direction, TBH. I actually have been known to do it in my sleep. I've had it happen, but it was in a dream and I creamed my bed. If only it would happen for real. Well fuck, I guess I'm going to work a little tired in a few hours. I never turn down a good meal. I mean, I hope you're prepared for my response to be mfmk. NNNNWWWRR. CHHNNNJJJJLLL. If it's a ghost blow job, yes, because Ghostbusters is great, otherwise no, because I live alone. Stop using this subreddit for your jerk-off material. Arskredite after dark. Arskredins. Middle of the night, nah. Morning when I'm about to wake up, hell yes and thank you very much. Waking up, either him going down on me or him face fucking me, is a big yes in our household. I don't mind. Most of the time that I'm asleep I'm having some sort of sex dream and I'm horny. Depends on to give or receive. To receive? Hell yeah. To give? I'm sleeping, leave me alone.